This is a website for Satan's Trilogy on the internet. Welcome back to Satan's Trilogy. Having purchased the dress and going back to the hub, Brandy suggested they look for some shoe stores. A short distance away, they found United Shoes store. Walking inside the store, they were exposed to acres of shoes. Brandy said, "Be still, my heart. Esther, this store is new to them all." Esther looking about and said, "Oh yes." A large smile came to her lips. Almost immediately, a young man approached them. He was at least Esther's height or a bit taller, possibly her age, and he had a slender body with pale skin, short black hair with ivory tips, and his hair had a fair amount of gel in it, creating ivory-tipped patches of hair. His solitary diamond stud in each earlobe was centered neatly on the earlobe and sparkled nicely in the store's light. Making a definite fashion statement, his pink cotton shirt clashed with his wide green silk tie. The tie's knot was loosely made and had a pattern of overlapping rings embossed into the material. He wore nicely pressed, cuffed cotton slacks, cream color, with suede shoes that were a bit darker in color. On his shirt was an adhesive sticker that said, "Welcome to USS, my name is Chris." Enthusiastically, this young man had walked up and said, "Good morning," and then asked, "How may I help you?" But he didn't wait for a reply and continued to speak almost with a passion. "Please let me guess." Putting the palm of his hands together, then pointing at Esther, he moved closer to her. He then said, "You just bought a new dress, and you need some shoes that will work with this dress." Esther and Brandy were a bit surprised at his correctness and confidence. Chris said, "It must be a dinner dress. Please follow me." Esther was giggling at the young man. Everything he said was correct, and he didn't even wait for validation of it. The two girls followed Chris as he took them deep into the store where the woman's dress shoes were displayed. There were thousands to choose from. "All right," the young man said, putting his index finger to his chin. "You'll have to show me the dress if you want further help." Esther looked at Brandy, laughed, and put her box across the arms of the chair, opened the lid, and pulled out her dress. The young man stepped back for a moment and then moved forward. "Oh my, you have a new Stella Stinso dress." Stepping closer and grabbing the neckline of the dress, he looked for a designer's label, and sure enough, Stella Fashions was sewed onto the dress. Chris was pleased with himself. Smiling, he said, "If you paid anything under $400 for this dress, then you got a steal." Then Chris said, "If you paid more, well, it's worth it. Stella dresses are the thing, and if you should grow tired of the dress, you'll probably sell it for close to what you paid. My sister has a small dress shop that sells only top-of-the-line pre-owned dresses. It's located on the east side. Sherry's Boutique?" Chris waited for a response, got none, and went on. "Well, it's very popular." Before they could comment, Chris laid the dress back into the box, closed it, and said, "Please follow me. Any of these shoes will look beautiful on your feet and nicely fit your new dress. Please take a look at all of the shoes. I suggest that you go with a 3-inch heel. The narrower the heel, the better. That dress is for a fun time." Having said that, Chris stepped away, commenting as he left, "I'll be close by when you need me." Brandy and Esther looked up the long aisle of shoes and immediately went to a display just a few feet away. The shoes were bright yellow, patent leather, and 3-inch heels. Esther found a box with her shoe size 8 and tried them on. While Esther had only worn 3-inch heels a couple of times in her life, the shoes felt like heaven and she walked gracefully in them. Chris came around the corner and immediately became excited. Oh my gosh, he chose the exact pair that I absolutely love. That shoe is made by Valor, and his shoes have been seen on the most glamorous of people. We only carry his shoes for a few weeks, usually at this time of the year. Something to do with new designs released, and so old stock is sent out to a few select stores like us. Chris was very pleased. A thought immediately came to him. He put his right index finger to his lips and then pulled it away. He then lowered his voice just a bit. And I know you'll be looking to find a perfect clutch to go with the shoes. We have an excellent assortment of purses, however. Chris stopped talking for a moment and he looked about. I happen to know that Marco's at Wilson Barnett Mall have a Valor line of purses marked dramatically down. I hear they lost their license with them. Chris looked about, pausing for a moment, and then said, If you found a yellow clutch by Valor, well, girl, you'd be looking Hollywood, and I mean with capitals. Chris then took a look at Esther and realized she wasn't done shopping, so he blurted out, You've just started shopping, haven't you? Again, without waiting for an answer, he continued, Are you shopping for school? Esther spoke up. Chris, you are really good at reading people. My name is Esther Saint. I'll be registering for school this Monday. I've just transferred. I'll be attending Ulysses S. Grant High School. It's my last semester. I've just arrived from China and my clothes haven't arrived yet. I need some clothes for school. I only brought 2 outfits. Chris was so excited he couldn't contain his enthusiasm. Esther, we'll be classmates. I go to Grant High. It's my last semester too. Considering the situation you are in, you'll need a lot of shoes. Chris was jumping up and down. This year just might end up on a good note after all. All right, you girls need to follow me. This is the sort of something wonderful. Walking to another section of the store, Chris stopped and said, You'll need tennis shoes, leather flats, and perhaps some boots with low heels. I suggest you keep your wardrobe limited until you're in school. That way you can judge what is popular and what fits your style and personality. Then come back and we'll shop some more. Let me pull some shoes out that I think you'll not only love, but will fit almost any style. Chris started to move about, pulling shoe boxes out and laying them at Esther's feet. He would disappear for a moment or two and reappear with 2 or 3 more boxes of shoes. Eventually, Esther had nearly 20 boxes of shoes in front of her. Brandy was sitting alongside of Esther, finding Chris's actions amazing and hilarious. Wow, Chris, I don't know where to start. Esther's eyes were canvassing the floor. You're shopping, there's no rush. Just start opening boxes and put the shoes on your feet. Walk in them and see how they feel. Then decide if you like the way they look. Remember, the leather shoes will stretch a bit, but the tennis shoes will probably stay close to the original size. I need to give you some time, but I'll be close if you need something. And Chris was off again. Esther and Brandy laughed for nearly an hour as she tried on the large selection of shoes. Some were designed on the extreme with narrow pointed toes, and some boots came up to her knees with chrome buckles reaching the entire length. Eventually, Esther narrowed it down to a half-dozen shoes that she thought would serve her well with the clothes she would eventually find. Falling back into her chair after removing the last pair of shoes, Esther said, "This shopping thing really is exhausting." "Shop till you drop isn't just an expression, isn't it, Brandy?" Brandy looked at Esther and just started laughing. Then she couldn't stop laughing. Finally, she composed herself and said, "This may not be the best thing in life, but shopping is definitely in the top 5. With a little more practice, you'll agree." Brandy chuckled. "Okay, let's grab the keepers and make our way up front." At that moment, Chris came around the corner of the aisle and was pleased to see the girls had made their final selection. Chris had brought a cart with him and immediately commented, "I just knew you girls would need this cart. This is such an exciting day. We have found so many wonderful shoes to wear." While talking, Chris opened each box of shoes and gave immediate approval. "You have that fantastic new dress. It must be for a very special date." Again, without waiting for an answer, Chris said, "You are going to be a hit at Grant High. That goes without saying. Maybe we'll be in some classes together." Esther held out her hand to thank Chris for his help. "Chris, you have really been fantastic, and I really appreciate it. I'll look for you on Monday. I think it would be so awesome to have a class together." And that's the end. Do 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 do.